Is it just...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Carolina Lightweights. Come get with us. When the action begins in the studio, our referees for tonight's event are Elgato Azul and Carolina Real Streamers. For the viewers in attendance and Facebook and YouTube users around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the Elgato Azul TV studio in Louisville, Texas, it's time! What's up, slime lovers? I'm your host, Chris, a.k.a. Elgato Azul. A partner in slime, Mr. Jamie Dunn, Carolina Lightweights.
What's up?
And my buddy over the top of him, Chris Wheeler. Cali Chris, what's up, bro? How's everybody doing tonight?
Welcome in, Chris. Chris, I believe your mic is muted, brother.
Can you guys hear me now?
Got you now, brother.
Gotcha.
Is my reception better?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's see here.
Oh,
so I can't read that chat on the screen. Can y'all read that?
No.
Well, that's not very. That don't work too good.
Unless you got some damn good eyesight.
My eyesight's terrible, dude.
Oh man, I'm gonna stick with.
Tonight?
I'm doing good, brother. How y'all doing?
We'd do a lot better if it quit raining.
I believe y'all about like we are, Chris. Need a boat. I saw you put a boat motor on the back of a lawnmower today.
Pretty much need one if you're going to mow the grass.
That's it. That's it. It looks like we're Chris Wheeler's at. Looks like there's good sunshine and everything.
Yeah, it's hot and sunny here. It rained last night though.
Heck yeah, man.
It's raining here every freaking day, man. Every day.
Yeah, we've had thunderstorms. We've had rain just like y'all have, man. And it's like, dog.
Rain. We got a chance of rain every day this week.
Hey, I tell you, we needed a little bit of rain to get us out the drought, but man, now we've gone way overboard.
Rivers flooded, lakes. A lot of them real close to not being able to get on because the ramps are underwater.
Wow.
Spillways are going to start going over. Keeps raining like this, we're going to have problems.
And that could be scary, man. Dealing with all the spillways and stuff.
It'll rain every day, and then it'll be like somebody just turned the spigot off here. We won't get another drop.
Wow, man. Chris, I believe you got a good connection now, brother.
Okay, good.
Well, for those that don't know Chris, tell us a little bit about where you're at, where you're from, your fishing history, and how you got into it and all that.
Well, I'd have to say, I grew up in Illinois. I live in Northern California. My fishing, my dad, at a young age, I grew up on a commercial catfish carp boat. We run a lot of trot lines back in the day, nets. I mean, gill nets for days. Shucks, my phone fell over here. You there?
Uh-oh.
Oh, we
Where'd
lost
you go?
you.
Can't see you.
There you are.
There it is.
I'm in my truck today, so you got to bear with me.
It's all
as
good,
usual.
man.
Hey, bro, that's the way we used to it on the show sometimes, man. We go through it ourselves.
We're technically challenged.
I can get my phone to
That's
sit
all
here.
right.
There we go. So yeah, I grew up in Illinois, fishing mainly the Illinois and the Mississippi River, some up on the Fox, but we mainly commercial fished the Illinois River. Did that till I was probably 16, and kind of separated from that. Just wasn't. My dad still wants me to this day to come back there and carp fish, but my passion isn't in that. And, but now I'm in Northern California, and a lot different waters here. That's for sure. We
I
don't
bet.
have no blues up here, no flatheads. It's mainly all channel cats. Southern California, there's blues, flatheads. I do fish Southern California, Arizona border a lot, Central Arizona a lot for flathead. But California, yeah, I mean, I think it's way better channel cat fishing than Illinois ever was. That's for sure.
Yeah, y'all catch some big. You fish Clear Lake? Is that the name of your home fishery?
Yeah, I live 3 hours from that lake, but we try to be there as much as we can, and I guide on that lake, but since I started with Operation Vets with Nets, man, I've kind of just shied away from the money end of guiding, and I get way more satisfaction out of taking veterans out than I do all the stress of you got to put people on fish. There's that expectation. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to put veterans on fish too, but it's different. It's a whole different atmosphere.
So what's the predominant species they fish out of your lake? Is it bass?
I would, man, I think that lake, right? Go ahead, Jamie. I'm sorry. Were you saying something, Jamie?
No, that was Chris.
So Clear Lake, didn't that have a world record bass or something at one point come out of there?
No, California did. It was a pretty famous bass named Dottie. It was caught by multiple people.
Okay.
I forget the name of the lake that came off of. I should know
Hastiak?
it. But we do, man. I mean,
what lakes are by you?
Go ahead.
By Clear Lake. What lakes are close to you?
Whiskeytown Lake, Shasta Lake.
Okay, and these are pretty clear lakes and deep, like canyons.
No, Clear Lake. I think Clear Lake, on average, Clear Lake's the oldest lake in North America. Believe that or not. They've carbon dated it. I forget how many. I want to say it's 2 million years old, something like that.
Dang.
But its average depth is at about 20 feet.
Okay.
It's a pretty flat lake. There is some holes, some of the lake gets 30, 40, 50 foot deep. And then there's a few,
cats so damn big. Why do you think the channel cats get so big there?
Well, I think for one, they don't have a predator. You guys got blues and you got flatheads. Those things eat channel cats. That's breakfast and lunch and dinner. So they don't really have a
channel cats here. They just don't get. The biggest one I think I've ever caught was like 18, 19 pounds.
Well, those channel cats they're competing for food with those blue cats and those flatheads.
I guess.
Nothing.
A lot of food too.
Right.
Shortage of food, really. I don't know. It seems like they, man. I don't know if it's the heat stressful on them or what. But.
Well, where we're at, man, we get 110, 112, 115. We're a very hot part of California. You know, that whole Central Valley gets pretty hot. I mean, we're 90 plus degrees for, 4 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Triple digits for at least a month and a half, 2 months.
Well, it's similar to here then. So I just figured.
But we don't have all that humidity, it's a pretty dry heat.
Yeah. And be lucky that you don't, because that humidity is a ass kicker.
So it's
especially down here,
because it's like mountainous where you're at.
Yes,
somewhat?
very. Yeah. Yep.
Y'all have a long warm season there? I mean,
so we have, where I live, there's 2 seasons, man. You have winter and you have summer. And then you get about a week of spring and about a week of fall. And that's it. I mean, it's not unusual at where I live for, 3 foot of snow to drop on us. I live in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
when
3 foot of snow dropped in Texas, you guys would shut down.
Yeah. Yeah, we get 3 inches and people freak out, dude. It's like chaos, man. But so when you're targeting these trophy size channel cats, what's the difference between fishing for them and fishing for blue cats? What? I know you're good at.
There's not a lot of difference, I would say. I mean, maybe bait size. I mean, blues, you might run a giant carp head. I'm probably not going to run that for channel cats.
So what, like a gizzard size, baits and stuff like that? Like something like that?
I'd say maybe about half of that.
Okay.
I drag baits, man. I'm a drift fisherman. I prefer to. The only time of the year that I anchor fish is during the spawn, and that's pretty much it. The rest of the time we're dragging baits.
Channel cats seem to bite more willing to bite during the spawn than a blue cat. Is that correct?
There's that time. I just get into the shallows. That's where they go. We got on Clear Lake. They kind of all go to one end of the lake or the other end of the lake. They kind of separate out of the middle of the lake. One side, there's a good creek that goes up. It's got a lot of tules, a lot of cover. And I think, that's where everybody kind of focuses their energy on that lake. We've got a few. Clear Lake is on a volcano. There's a volcano right on the lake. It's called
that's pretty cool.
So underneath the lake is a fault line. So there's a giant crevice that goes. Clear Lake's huge. It's 20 miles long and 7 miles wide. It's the largest lake that resides completely in California. Tahoe is bigger, but Tahoe is also in multiple states. It's not just in California. But that fault line, I think, just the way that lake is I think that may have a lot to do with why there's so many numbers of catfish. I mean, that lake's just loaded, man. I mean, it's freaking loaded. If you can't catch a catfish on Clear Lake, man, you might as well hang up the rods.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you that. How hard is it for you to, as far as the big channel cats, to compare in that lake? I mean, is it hard to get on some of those monster channel cats?
I would say it's harder to get on small channel cats.
Wow.
I would say the average size channel cat on that lake's 15 pounds.
Ooh.
Dang.
See, that's totally different than what I've, around here.
That's a cookie cutter. I mean, you'll go out and catch, 25, 30, 35, 15 pounders every time you go out. If you know how the fish migrate that lake, man. I mean, if you know those fish patterns, and that's that's the number one thing catching fish. I mean, it's being on fish. And then I think it's second to that is bait presentation. It goes in that order in my mind. You gotta be on fish to catch fish, and you gotta present that bait correctly to catch fish. I mean, you can run a bad presentation and be on fish and still catch fish, but boom, 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 2 rods going down, 3 rods going down, the chaos, 4 rods going down. You're presenting your bait right and you're on the fish. But those fish go the winter. I'm fishing deep. I'm 30 to 50, even 60 feet deep. I find those deep holes, and that's where the fish are in the winter. And what it is that lake has thermo from the volcano. It's not I guess technically, I think it's still an active volcano, but it's not like spewing out. But there's still thermal underneath there. So there's warm pockets. You got bubbles coming out of the lake from those thermal pockets.
That's cool.
Those fish go down and they get in that warm water come wintertime. But we're not really, that lake isn't freezing up. Like I've been on Texoma. Man, my whole boat was covered in ice. I mean, I looked like I was fishing for crab in Alaska.
I was getting ready to ask you, it being so close to that volcano and stuff like that, I mean, does that temperature on that lake, even you were just saying in the wintertime, is it pretty much, what's the height temperature on that lake in wintertime?
That lake can drop down 40 to 50 degrees in the winter. And that's when people switch over to fishing deep.
Yeah.
And then they'll school up. I mean, if you get on the fish in the winter, I think in my book, man, people are like, oh, channel cat don't bite in the winter. I think it's the best. It's the best.
So it's kind of like blues in the wintertime.
If you're on them, man, those things school up. They all kind of go to the same place. That's where your 50, 60 fish days are going to be in my book. The best times are in the winter.
Nice. Well, how tough was it to get a pattern down on that lake? I mean, was it pretty simple to someone that's just maybe moving to the area and getting to go fish that lake? I mean,
it's a lot of lake.
Let me just say this. Wheeler fishes all over the country. He does damn good everywhere he goes. So because he does good there doesn't mean average Joe is not do good, but
that's
it, right, Chris? I mean,
I appreciate that, but
did well.
Clear Lake's a special lake, man. I think, in my personal opinion, and I have fished I lived in New York and I've lived in California and I lived in the Midwest. I spent every summer in Tennessee and Arkansas as a kid with my grandparents. I mean, I've gotten, every angle of the country, and I've never been a bass guy, never was my thing. I enjoy crappie fishing a little bit. I'm a cat fisherman. That's what I was. My dad's a cat fisherman. He's on here somewhere. Hi, Dad.
We probably ought to run through here and say what's up.
I think James? Clear Lake is just a special place. I think, hands down, from anywhere I've fished, channel cat wise, I think it's second to none.
Well, if it's got a fault line running through it with and there's still geothermal activity going on, that's a unique deal right there. I mean, that makes it different in itself. So there's probably
you asked, Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
A bit of magic that comes with that,
That's what I was getting to. You asked, what was primarily fished on that lake. That lake has a bass tournament on it every weekend, and I mean big bass tournaments. That's a go-to. Any top, your top pro bass guys, man, they look forward to fishing Clear Lake. That it produces, 14, 15, 16-pound bass. Probably on a weekly basis, people are catching those.
Dang, that's crazy.
I don't think you can go anywhere and catch crappie and the numbers and the dinner plate size that you're catching on that lake. Just everything on that lake is big. I wish there were blues on it.
I can only imagine, man, if y'all had some blues on that lake with bass that size and channel cats that size that y'all have got?
It won't be long. Those blues will get in there. They'll work their way up from those other fisheries. They get on. It might be slow if they're not stocked, but eventually they'll be in there. Eggs get on birds' legs. They'll carry them in there, and eventually they'll be in there.
So I think there is, they say, I guess back in, I want to say the 60s or the 70s, on the San Joaquin River and the Sacramento River Delta, there were some blues released. And I mean, I guess technically once they're in there, they're there, but you don't hear about guys really catching them. And there's a debate actually over our channel cat state record here in California that it wasn't even it was caught on the San Joaquin River. I think the record was twice and the same guy did it. And there's a lot of speculation that it was a blue cat, not a channel cat.
Could be
I
a
don't
hybrid,
think they did DNA.
There was a 49-pounder caught here, 48 or 49-pounder caught here. It looked like a channel cat, had the rays and all that of a channel cat. They took the DNA sample, and it was half blue cat, half channel cat.
Yeah, I think our state record blue cats, I want to say 117 or 119 pounds here in California.
Yeah, that's monstrous.
That came out of southern San Diego, I think, down that way, LA, San Diego area.
Chris, I see we're starting to get some questions, Chris, from chat. Do you want to run through that?
Let's run through here and get caught up real quick.
There you go.
Willis Fishing says, "What's up, slime family? Can't wait for the show." Tommy says, "What's up, brothers?" Lewis Parker says, "Evening, folks." Richard Green, hello all from Lake Livingston, Texas. Lee Loy says, "We're slime-tastic, brothers." Alex, Texas Fishing, what's up, y'all? Richard Gadget Green says he bought a 75-inch TV today. So, what's up, Richard? Flathead Doty says, "Hey, what's up, slime lovers? Glad y'all got Chris on. Good dude." I agree. Me and Chris been friends now for 2 years.
I went out and fished with Doty last year. No, was it this year? Was it this year? Yeah, I think it was wintertime. I think it was this year. No, it was right at the end of last year, I think I went out there.
We had him on the War Machine in March. Got him a 50, got him a 60. We smoked him. We had a good time.
Well, I hate to say it, but we got skunked when I went out and seen him.
Uh-oh. I would imagine winter fishing up there is probably pretty tough.
It was right at the end. It was right at the beginning of winter. I think winter was just setting in.
Tub and Tackle says, "What's up, fellas?" He got him a brand new giant front end loader today. Yeah, he's big timing it. Terry Woodrow says, "What's up, guys?" Ed Jenkins, "Evening, folks. Welcome in, boys." Rusty Duncan says, "Hello from Ohio." Robo Rusty got him a new shoulder. Doctors getting him straightened out. The Bay are big. Yep, that's another well-known place for channel cats. Doty says climate probably has a lot to do with it for your fish size. Brian Henry waving a hand out to y'all. Elgato Azul, Carolina Lake Weights, Chris Wheeler. Welcome in, Brian. Trent Hall says, hey.
What's
Me
up,
and
everybody?
Jackson going flathead fishing with my boy Trent Saturday. Woo! Get ready. Vess says, "What's up, Slimers?" Welcome in, Vess. Like to go fishing again with those boys for some alligator gar. Hint, hint.
Look like y'all had a good time.
It's about as good a time as four guys can have, you know. and not get thrown in jail for it. Fishing with Honor, 100% disabled veteran says, good evening, y'all, from San Antone.
What's up, buddy?
Aaron Hansen says, evening, gents. I'm gonna get fish with Aaron sometime this summer. He's got a mud boat. We're gonna take it down to the Trinity if it'll ever get back in the banks. Man,
Wow.
this damn thing's flooded. Killer B says, howdy, y'all. Welcome in, Billy. Me and Bill, we got a trip. We just got to plan it. We need that river to go down, Billy. Beth says, Chris prefer anchoring or drifting, and he answered that he prefers to drag. You drag or you drift, Chris?
I drag.
Tub and Tackle says, fire, 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 fire. Richard Gadget Green says, what's your biggest channel cat, Chris?
My biggest is 29.7.
Biggest on the boat.
29.
And let me guess, your wife caught it.
No. Well, no, she didn't. I was by myself when I got that one. The second biggest one on the boat, she did hook, but I reeled in.
Well,
That's a whole
teamwork.
that's a bad that's a whole
Those are the best.
that's a whole bad story.
Uh-oh. You want to tell us?
Sure. So we had a tournament. It was a 2-day tournament. Day one, I left my bag with all my line in it at home. I'm like, well, there's nothing really on the way where I'm going. We stopped at Walmart and I bought some big game mono. And I did have one roll of some line in my bag. I don't remember the brand now. And we spooled up what we could spool up with the line that I had. And then I think the other was 50-pound mono. I run 80-pound braid most of the time, and I run 80-pound mono leader. But everything we hooked up on, the line kept snapping. We got some rotten line. I don't know if it sat in a warehouse. I mean, people in this tournament are catching fish all around us. We're hooking up, snap, hooking up, snap. And I mean, we're getting angry. Of course, the tension between my wife and I, which is my partner, it's just a bad day. You know, we weren't putting the fish in the boat. They were getting to the boat somewhat. We were hooking fish. We ended up going up into a creek. Day one, I think we only turned in 2 fish. We usually always turn in our 3 fish, but we hooked probably 19, 18, 19 fish. Everything we hooked, the line was just disintegrating, and it was all I had. And I mean, we're on the boat. It's a tournament. You can't get off the boat and, you know, go to the damn store. So day 2, right out of the gate, same thing, man. We're snapping line. We did get a few fish in the boat. And at this point, I'm almost embarrassed. I'm seeing people fish, catch fish all around us. I was like, let's go up in this creek. I was like, I just want to get away from people. We were kind of, it was, the tension was there again, day 2. We did get up in the creek. We caught a few fish. We got them in the boat. We had our 3 fish. And the rod went down and she hooked it. And we both knew it was big. This thing it was in the tulies. It was in the boat motor. It is a miracle of God that fish got into the net and got in our boat. And we ended up, we didn't play. I don't think we took top 3 in that tournament, but we definitely won big fish, which actually paid out more than first place in that tournament somehow. So it ended up, the weekend worked out. The tournament worked out. She hooked it. I reeled it in. She's like, I'm not responsible, and kind of just handed the rod off, and it should have been her fish. And if anybody knows our team dynamic, my wife catches all the big fish on our boat. I'm just the world's handsomest net guy, you know.
I tell you, man, there's them days out there that's just like that, brother. There really is, and myself and
Uh-oh. Did I freeze or did he? Can you hear
No,
me?
you're there, Chris.
Okay. Jamie, you're gone, buddy. So, yep, I'm a world-class net man myself.
Yeah.
I
You know,
get it.
honestly, every time I get in the boat, man, my number one thing is I want her to get her personal best. You know, that's I hope she gets, you know, above me. That would be great.
I'm the same way. A lot of days I don't even get to catch fish. I went fishing last trip with my buddy Vess and Trent Hall. They're both guides, and we're all you grabbed it. No, you know, everybody's trying to push the rod off onto somebody else. You know, my son had caught one and a giant alligator gar. He's only good for one, and then you know he was done. But then it was like, you get it. No, you get it. I just want to watch. And they're like, I said, man, I just want to be here. I'm just happy to be here, you know? And that's for me at this point in fishing. I tell guys, I don't care who catches it, as long as we can say these are our fish at the end of the day, you know?
that's it.
And I think when you do, a lot of it's teamwork anyway. I mean, you know, getting really good fish in is typically a teamwork type deal. So unless you're fishing by
Most
yourself,
definitely.
I just enjoy the teamwork and like camaraderie that comes with that when you're all part of it. It just makes it for a cool fishing day.
Typically, if I've got somebody on the boat, I get every fifth fish. So usually I'll get to reel in maybe 4, maybe 5 fish through the day.
Everybody's
That's
at
just
the
how
end
I
of the
roll.
day, like, Chris, you ain't caught one yet. You get one. I'm like, all right. It'll end up being the biggest fish of the day.
I hate it though, because what ends up happening is you want them to get that big fish, and then that one fish you end up with, it'll be the big one every time. And it's like, that's not what I wanted.
A lot of guys that come with me, they're searching for a PB, and their PB may only be 20-something pounds. So they're like, you know, and I'll tell them if I think we can get it. I'm like, we're getting that. We're getting that today. I'm gonna make damn sure we get that, because I think that's really cool to be able to do that for people. So I know you're the same type of dude. Otherwise, you you wouldn't be all about handing off that rod. It's just something cool about doing that for people. All right, I'm gonna catch back up. Catfish Junkie says, "What's up, everybody?" Doty says, "September through October." Rodney Alexander from Alexander's Taxidermy. That's one of my fishing buddies. Call him the mayor because he is the mayor. Says, "What's up, slime buddies?"
What's up, brother?
Fish God 903, laughing emoji. Not sure who he's laughing at. You better not be laughing at me. Killer B Outdoors says, "Yes, sir." Lee Loy going to go drag inflow tomorrow. Well, there should be fish in the flow. If they're not there, go find the sand bass. That's the summer. That's the easy summer pattern. Viola Dalton Wheeler says, "That is a good story."
That's my wife.
Dan Weldon says, "Hey, slime lovers." Tim Hall says, "Hey, Chris, Team Two Birds."
It's my stepdad.
All right. Got family up in here.
Heck yeah.
Family. Welcome to the slime family.
That's it. I was about to say, welcome.
John Young says, "Working on catch fish right now." Get her done, John. Quit working and do it. Quit playing. Get to work. Catfish Junkie says, I'll be back on the water next week for catfish, Mississippi River bound. Get you some, Junkie. Hope you get you a 100-pounder, bro. Tom says, that first fish when I went with you would have been my PB if it had the girth to match the length. Yeah, I don't know why that fish was so scrawny on pre-spawn. He'd probably been hooked to a jug. Let's blame it on the juggers. All right, we're caught up. So anybody got any questions for Chris? Want to know anything about catching big channel cats or anything like that? Post them up. So, Chris, what's your fishing plans coming up? You got any idea what's going on, or you're just going to keep doing what you're doing?
Well, I'm hoping maybe after work tomorrow I go. There's a lake down the road here, and from what I hear, the channels are really big in there. Guy showed me some pictures today, got me pretty excited. I don't know if he's on here. I told him to get on here. I was delivering to his neighbor, and he come over and was shooting the crap, and I looked over, and he had a pretty nice boat, and I was like, what are you fishing for? He's like, well, I do a lot of catfishing. And I was like, oh, now you're speaking my language.
That's it.
And I kind of ignored the customer and continued to talk to him for 25 minutes. But I'm in New Mexico right now. I'm not in California. I'm in New Mexico, Four Corners area. But apparently there's a pretty good lake here, Navajo Lake. It's part of the Navajo Nation. Indian reservation, but
Navajo.
we'll see.
Never heard of it.
What's that?
Never heard of it.
Go ahead.
I see you got all your gear. You were showing us earlier, all your gear sitting there beside you and everything.
He stays ready.
I was about to say, you ready to go on a fly, ain't you?
I pretty much am. I got 4 carp and 9 bluegill and 2 tilapia in the freezer. I have a reefer unit on the back of my truck, so I can keep bait on frozen, but I have aerators in my live well. I have a live well in my back seat.
I say now that's a hardcore catfisherman right there.
I bet you.
I went last week.
You got a
Go
couple
ahead.
of rolls of fresh line too now.
I have plenty of gear in my truck. Yeah.
I see the shirt that you have on, and you mentioned earlier about Operation Vets with Nets, and I know our veterans and stuff. Is something that's dear to your heart. What got you really, hooked up with Operation Vets with Nets and everything that you're doing?
I met somebody in Texas, and we were talking about it, and it's a great organization. If you don't know about Operation Vets with Nets, get on operationvetswithnet.org. What a great organization. Really honored to be part of it. What a great family they are as well. It's pretty simple. I didn't serve. A lot of our captains served. I didn't serve. Those guys, man, when you join the military, you're essentially writing a blank check, possibly payable with your life. If anybody in this country is going to be honored, man, I'm a patriot. I love my country, and without them, we wouldn't have this country. It's that plain and simple. My grandpa served. I hold the utmost respect for veterans. And it's not easy. It's not just the sacrifice of going and being shipped off here, being shipped off there. A lot of those guys, you're leaving your kids at home, you're leaving your wives at home, maybe a sick mother, maybe a sick father. They're they're just giving it all up to go make sure that we can fly that flag every day.
That's it, man. I agree with you 150%, man. Heck of an organization, does a lot for our veterans, and I appreciate everything y'all guys are doing, man, bringing awareness out to our veterans and stuff.
I'm honored to honor them. That's how I feel about it.
That's it. I got a question from Dan Welding. Big channels feed on bottom or float it off, and what bait?
I run about a 30-inch leader. I try to run. I think Chris and I've even talked about this before. I think he's the same way. I try to run as light a weight as I can to hold that bait to the bottom. I think the lighter your weight, the less snags you're going to come up with. But I generally run about 3 ounces of weight, 2 ounces of weight, 3 ounces of weight. I do run some pretty good floats. I like about a 7-inch float. I do run hard floats, but I do run soft floats too. But I definitely am floating up off the bottom. But I mean, I run electronics. A lot of guys frown on electronics. A lot of guys love electronics. Hey man,
Dude,
I
if you're not
run
running
electronics.
man, you're in the wrong. I mean, damn, you're in the stone age, bro. Come
So
on,
I
man.
mean, if you're seeing those fish and they're suspended, I'm gonna run a little longer of a leader. And when I'm running off the back of my boat, I may be running 20 inches on this rod. I may be running 30 inches on this rod. I may be running 7 inches behind my float on this line, maybe 3 inches behind my float on this line. If I'm hooking up more consistently on 30 inches a leader than I am 18 inches a leader, I'm gonna switch everything over. And I have pre-tied in my boat, man. All I got to do is pull out, retie, and I'm a minute and a half, and we're back in the water.
Do you have a pretty good idea what you think they're going to be doing, or is experiments pretty much still experimental every time?
Well, if it's really, really windy, you got some big waves. Clear Lake's 20 miles long, 19 miles long, and it runs east to west. So you can imagine by the time those waves hit the east side of the lake, most of our wind comes off of the west. I mean, you're 3-4 foot waves. That lake gets gnarly, man. Gnarly. Yeah. Boats sink. It happens. So if it's really, really windy, I'm gonna target structure a little more. I'm gonna probably run a little bit shorter of a leader. I'm gonna probably try to get it on the bottom. I feel those fish kind of hunker down a little bit too.
When it's windy?
Yeah.
Really?
That's my opinion. Yeah. I like to fish structure a lot.
How much structure do you have?
What structure are you fishing? Is it similar to Blue Cats? So you're fishing the channel, that fault line. Hell, I mean, that sounds pretty interesting.
Well, when we talk about that fault line, that's kind of a ledge. It's not even a channel. Right. That lake really, right. I wouldn't say there's so much a channel through that lake. I mean, there is, water does come in and water does go out, but it's not like some big river, like a lot of our reservoir rivers where you got the Sacramento River running into it and you're damming it up and then it's blasting out some giant dam.
Yeah.
I mean, this lake's pretty, I think most of the water is forced out of the ground because of the heat in the ground.
Yeah.
So there's not like this main channel where you can go, yeah, I'm going to go, like on the Illinois River, the Mississippi River, you got those barge channels, where you can walk the Illinois River almost all the way across till you get to the barge channel. Then it might drop 15, 20, maybe 25 foot deep. And that's maybe good for.
There's no like a creek channels that flow into these. I mean, what feeds these things?
It is a creek, but it isn't really blasting like a channel through that lake.
Well,
when you talk about that,
like all our channels,
line,
our lakes are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. They're all still, you can't see it. There's no channel. Like, there's not really a depression, but
Right.
there was.
There is a, the water does flow through, but no, I mean, I mainly try to fish structure. And by that structure, I mean there's the end of the lake where there's a lot of rock. There's
Okay,
some big
so cover. You're saying cover,
cover.
like
Yeah,
stumps, rocks. Is that what you're?
not so much stumps, but rocks.
Okay.
And then when I talk about that fault line, what that is it's like a giant crack that goes through a certain section of the lake, and it's probably about a 7-foot, 8-foot wall.
Yeah.
So I'll drag baits on top of that wall. I'll drag baits on that wall, and I'll drag baits below that wall.
I'll have baits in 60 feet on one side of the boat and up in 12 feet on the other side of the boat. I'm like,
right.
I mean, it's just a sheer drop. So
That's
fishing,
how this is.
Okay, you're fishing super sharp ledges and rocks.
Right. And that fault goes through, in the summer, it's on a skinny side of the lake. So it may be 11, 12 to 15 feet on one side and drop down to 20, 25 on the other side.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
And then if you go further west on the lake, you're kind of in a deeper area where it goes to, 45, 50 feet and maybe 35 feet on the shallower side, which is more of an area that I personally target in the winter. And there's a lot of deep holes on that lake. And I'm one of those. And I think that's why.
Did they get out on flats a lot? A lot of our guys here like to fish flats. And they're like, man,
definitely in the summer.
I'm like, man, it's, I probably fish the flat the least amount of anything I fish.
I would agree with that.
I fish structure next to a flat, and they may not be laying on that piece of structure, but they're orienting to that structure. They're just right next to it on the flat. So I say, yeah, I'm fishing. I'm technically, I guess I'm on the flat, but really they're orienting to that piece of structure running through there.
Well, you could say in general, Clear Lake is a flat.
Yeah, a lot of our lakes are similar. It's a
flat lake.
Yeah. A lot of our lakes are that way as well, but there are features that are different. And I mean, pretty much all the ones guys like, man, what are you fishing? I'm like, well, I'm gonna fish this shore. I'm gonna check this shoreline contour right here, and then there's a submerged channel out here that's silted in, but the fish know it's there. I'm gonna check that.
They do know it's there. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe there's some intersecting channels. I'm definitely going to check those intersecting channels, and I'm going to run up that channel to see maybe if they've gone up that way or that way. Or some of these lakes have old levees, old road beds. Anything that's a little different. Is that kind of the similar stuff you're looking for? Things that are a little different than everything else around it?
Correct.
Flathead Doty says, how many channel cats does it take to get to the center of the universe?
Millions, because I ain't there yet.
Oh, man.
I know you were talking about a while ago, different links, different deals that you're doing when you start off and start bringing it in to see what they like. And that's kind of what we talked about on the show a lot, is starting out with different lengths, leaders, shortened, longers, and stuff like that. And I know you, so that's just as important for channel cats as it is blues and flatheads also.
I believe so, yeah.
So if there's a standard length that you start with, what do you, is it similar to a blue cat? I mean, I got buddies like, man, I run 4-foot leaders, and they're like, "What? How long are your leaders?" I'm like,
I like 30 inches.
I was gonna say mine are 30 inches.
That's it.
And from there, I can go a little longer. I can go a little shorter. I can put my stuff down in the. I mean, really, to me, 30 inches, fish will come get that. But if they're down in the mud, that's when you really got to put it down there with them. I feel like I can catch fish that are 6 feet off the bottom on a 30-inch leader. But on a 30-inch leader, you can't catch fish laying in the mud. Is that pretty similar?
Well, I've been running a double rig, okay, and I would say that's kind of eliminating that whole process of me having to figure out. I'm running about a 10-inch leader. I run the Dragon Master inline weights, but on the front end of that, where I tie my main line to it, I'm running about a 10-inch leader off there with a float and a bait.
Yeah.
And then off the back of that, I'm running a 30-inch leader with a bait and a float. And I would say I'm picking up fish on the low end and the high end, but a lot of times you'll see that you're picking more of them up on that lower end than you are that higher end. But I've been running, I would say about the last year, I run 2 rigs per rod. I run a high and a low.
How did you find out to be working better than what you were using before?
I don't understand.
Basically, you went from a single style rig to a double hook rig. What made you change up?
Well, I don't know exactly what made me change up, but we were trying. When I first started using those rigs, the inline weights, we were just trying different stuff with it. I'll hang them sometimes. I like to hang them if I'm in rocks, as to run them in line. I'll run them just like a normal, Carolina lake weight. It hangs off. It hangs
bottom if you're running. If you got the nose.
Well,
I'll tell you why I think that works. Because the nose of that thing's what's getting caught in rocks. And if that thing's in line on the bottom, you're dragging it through crevices and rocks. Whereas if you've got it's not in line and you're going through those rocks, the eye where that thing's tied off is actually it's up off the bottom. So you're getting it up over those rocks, which is what's saving you. It's what will save you a ton of crap. And that's also why the lightest that you can go in rocks, it's going to be dramatically fewer hangups.
I try to use as light a weight as possible in every situation that I can. And I mean, I even revert that over to flathead. I will use the lightest weight that I can to hold that bluegill where I want him, or that carp where I want him. Because I'm running live baits mainly when I'm fishing for flathead, and I want them to stay right where I put them. I don't want them moving all around, getting caught in the rocks. I want them to stay planted, but I also don't want that resistance. Flathead are big, man. They really ain't feeling much weight when they pick those.
Yeah.
They got one thing in mind: inhale the bluegill, inhale the carp. But a lot of times they'll come in and kill it, and then want to drag it off, and then. That's why I let them run. Same with the gar. You let those guys run. You really want them to get tangled up and get that bait in them.
Bob Hathaway says he's seen crappie using a little 1-inch dips in the bottom of lake. Fish lane. It's a fish lane. His dad parked the boat and set the minnow in a foot below the bobber, and he watched crappie and channel cats following the little 1-inch depression. 1-inch depression. You literally could see the fish turn around and hit. That's for sure. That's for sure. And guys like I don't see any depression. I'm like, well, there is a little depression. You just don't see a whole lot of it on your graph. But the fish use it. They know it's there. That's why they're all there. So I believe that, Bob.
I'm an
Edges,
avid map user for sure.
I am too. I'm probably oriented somewhere close to on our fisheries to the main river channel, which is often silted in because it's a 60-year-old, 70-year-old lake, or a secondary creek channel that comes off of the main channel. I use those. That's probably one of my biggest fish finding tools for big fish. And then from there, I'm looking for secondary structure that's close by. If I can hit that secondary structure, that's where the biggest fish is going to be laying. They use those channel. They use that old channel, those creek channels and stuff to move around the lake. And if you don't have any of those, it could be a shoreline contour or anything like that as well. So that's my 2 cents on. They use those areas to travel, Bob. Edge of trees and roads, most definitely. I fish the tree line a lot, and you do get hung up because there's trees that are not like outside the line. But Tom says 30 inches is his magic number too.
Yeah, that 30-inch mark, man, this seems to be a very good starting point. It works very well.
So 30 inches. What's happening is if you're using a decent sized bait, that thing's not floating straight up. It's kicked back. So you got 30 inches, and let's say you got this far behind your float from the hook. That's dragging down a little. That thing's actually only about a foot off the bottom. When you got that, well, Chris uses a giant float, so his might be floated a little bit higher, but you're basically just bringing it off the bottom. So a blue cat, or channel cats too, because they're a big channel cat's similar to a blue cat. They're eating live fish for the most part. Even though we're using dead cut bait, when we're dragging, we're simulating a dead or dying fish, and that's what a channel cat of that size doesn't eat. Stink bait. Dead crap.
And they're not biting. They're attacking. One giant bam, it's fish on. It isn't like being anchored up, where you got a little channel cat and he's, oh, I'm waiting for him. I mean, those things when they're hitting rods, you're dragging behind the boat. They're buckling them over. They're taking the bait. It's gone.
Yeah.
That's the kind I like.
They like to come in from behind it and bite the back half of a bait, crush it, swallow, or eat it whole. If it's a smaller bait, they'll just eat it whole. But they're coming in, injuring the hell out of it with that first bite, and then they eat it. That's catfish behavior. All right, running back through here, Michael Cox.
See, I've been running soft floats.
Zachary Withers says, what's the best bait in North Texas? We talking channel cats? Just big catfish? And how far north are you talking, Zachary? Because if you're up at Texoma, you can use different bait. You're going all the big channel cats I've caught in North Texas have been caught while I was drifting for blue cats on my smaller baits. So typically it's going to be like threadfin shad or small gizzard shad cut in half. That's what I've caught all mine on. Not like we catch a ton of them, but when we catch a channel cat, it's usually going to be pretty good. Biggest off our boat's 19.
Our go-to bait out here in California, salmon.
Yeah.
That's what we mainly use out here is salmon.
Most guys here just
Clear Lake, you can't use.
They use punch bait. I don't do that.
No stink bait on my boat.
Yeah, I don't mess with that stuff.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in, buddy. Wesley Grubbs says, what's up, gentlemen?
What's up, Wesley?
Zachary Withers says he's in Wichita Falls area to fish for blues, but want to catch flatheads this year. Probably our best bait here for flatheads is going to be green sunfish, greenies. They stay alive. They're active swimmers. They move around, create a lot of disturbance. Any sunfish going to work good for flatheads here in Texas. So.
I think carp's the best flathead bait.
Tilapia is awesome for flatheads, and tilapia is good bait anywhere for any fish that's predatorial, really. I think
I caught a 51 on a tilapia this year, flathead.
I think big fish want to probably attack them, especially with the adolescent ones, because they eat their eggs and they'll eat their fry. So
they're egg eaters.
Yes, sir. Dog, man. They're going to kill them if they can. Wesley Grubbs III says, looking forward to the James. Never fished it. Well, good luck.
There's some big fish down there.
Trent says he's pleading the fifth on the bait question. Well, Trent, you already know. Anything alive and kicking works good. Tom got his lips are sealed with a zipper. Cast nets are illegal in California.
No, they're not. Who said that?
Catfish Junkie.
No, sir, they are not. Now, certain lakes, they are. You can definitely throw cast net in the ocean. You can throw them on the Delta. You can throw them in Southern California. Clear Lake, you cannot throw cast net. You can use a dip net. I don't know. I'm not going to say the size or the regulations on that because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But cast nets aren't illegal in California, but they are illegal in certain. We have regions. Certain regions they are illegal.
Tom says loose lips sink ships. That can be true. Zachary Withers says, I want to use crappie heads, but we can't in Texas. You can. It's just, you just can't get caught. You can use them. You can speed. A lot of people speed, Zachary. So it's the same ticket as a speeding ticket. I'm not telling you to go speed, but I'm just saying. Oh, man. Southern Cali.
Well, if we all had tight lips, you wouldn't have a show, right?
That's right. Yeah, nobody would know no secrets or nothing for sure.
Man, oh, man. I've fished with a lot of guys. And I've seen a lot of rules broken. Let me just tell you. And fish with game wardens.
I'm a pretty open book, man. You know, I'll tell anybody where to go, what to use, unless it's the week before a tournament.
There you go.
I fished with cops, broke the rule. I fished with the mayor. He broke the rule. I fished with the police chief. He breaks the rules every time he fishes. My cousin's a game warden. He breaks the rules. Had 3 of them on the boat. They all broke the rules. So, there's the law, and then there's, what you're comfortable with, I guess. So, oh, man. I'm not telling you, but I'm just saying.
Well, the region Clear Lake's on, we can't use any finfish. Finfish are illegal in that region. So we can't use bluegill. We can't. And it's weird because they want us to catch carp and throw them in the garbage, but I can't cut that carp up and use it for bait.
Wow.
Well, I can go catch all the game fish I want, and put them in my garden for fertilizer, but I can't put them back in the lake for bait, which makes no sense. Hey,
Well, they don't let us use any at all. We can use shad, that but most like salmon. Our salmon is store bought. You have to buy farm raised salmon.
Yeah,
and there's even and that's
well,
that's a fine line.
Even here in Texas, it's the same thing because I was with my buddy and he's like, I'm just gonna I gotta ask this game warden because you can buy all this stuff at the Asian market. Can I use it for bait? And the guy said, I don't care. He's like, it's a gray area. He's like, I don't care, but you do need to have. I do care that you have a receipt, but I do know that there are other guys.
That's what it is in California.
They'll bust your ass for it. And it's all left up to interpretation. And guys like, well, I'll just take them to court. Well, good luck. I mean, yeah, you might win all that, but damn, what a pain in the ass. And it's going to end up costing you more if you got to go to court over it, get a lawyer or whatever. So usually guys just pay it. Pay it.
Really, you said Chris is going to get people in trouble.
I've been known to get people in trouble.
Not you, Chris.
Well, we had a big we had a big derby here about 3 weeks ago. 759 contestants on Clear Lake. I guess it's the biggest catfish tournament west of the Mississippi. 759. My wife took third in that, by the way. Congratulations, Vi. Good job.
Zachary says,
but
Chris,
there.
You tell him that. You tell him Chris told you to do it. I told you not to do it. I just said, I'm just saying. If you can cook
but
it,
apparently there were game wardens there.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Chris. We're still going on the bait.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, that's what I was talking about with this tournament or this derby we had out here. There were game wardens that some of them were writing tickets for people using salmon. When that's what we all use, most of our game wardens, that they may ask for a receipt, they may not. Are you guys there? You guys are paused.
No, I'm
Work here, brother.
We got you.
I may be getting a poor connection, but it is a really gray area, and now it's got a lot of us concerned because that is a lot of people's go-to bait, and it's like, okay, so they wrote a few people tickets, but I don't know the whole background behind those people that got tickets, whether did they not have their receipts, or maybe their packaging, or were they using kokanee heads from fish they caught last weekend out of Shasta? I don't know, but it is a gray area, and it's like it's discretion almost. It's like one cop may know some rules, another cop may not. One cop may not care. One game warden may. I took a game warden on a guided fishing trip, and he's like, he said, I would never write you a ticket for using carp as bait, but that doesn't mean the next guy's not going to.
Yeah. It's almost like they warn you that, hey, I'm going to do it this way, but the other one's not going to do it. Or they might write you one, and it's crazy how they do it sometimes.
Yeah, you can find there is a big difference in game wardens. Some of them are super cool, super friendly, super chill, really laid back. When they talk to you, it's like talking to one of your buddies. But then again, occasionally you run into one and you're like, damn, I'm glad I wasn't violating, because that dude right there is a total a-hole, man. He would have freaking hammered your ass to the wall if you gave him an opportunity to do so. So it's same with police officers or anything. Occasionally you're going to run across one. Man, he might be having a bad day. Take it out on your ass.
Yep, some of them are out just to make a name for them.
Typically, right. Yes, sir, how are you guys doing? It's keep it light, and here's all my safety equipment, and then they're on their way. They're gone. They don't
Right.
check.
Let me see your safety equipment, fishing license. Have
Yep.
a good day.
That's it. That's the kind I like. But like I said, when a new one's trying to make a name for themselves, man, yeah, it don't go very well.
So Junkie says, is fishing with a MAGA shirt a good idea in California? I would say yes. I would say you're probably good in California wearing a MAGA shirt. Now, going downtown LA, probably don't want to wear your MAGA shirt. But going fishing out in the rural,
I'm known to wear mine occasionally.
California, we were talking about before the show. California is 50% liberal, 50%, Republican. Well, whatever you want to call it. It's the 50% that are liberal all live in three major cities, 3 or 4 major cities. All of the right-wing people are out in the suburbs or in the country. That's typical for the United States. Let's blow up some of these. Man, if Texas could get rid of Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio, can we send those cities to California?
Oh my
It'd
goodness.
be a utopia here. Lee Loy says he's got a lot of cold weather blues on salmon. Tom says he's got a.
When I was in Texas, that was I used a lot of salmon while I was out there for blues.
Out here in Texas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tubbs Chris said, you guys ought to be ashamed for breaking the law. Now, Tubbs, you know we would never
I
do
already know
that.
what Tub uses.
Uh-huh.
I know what those boys back there use. I've gone in depth with it. I already know. Don't even start, Tub.
Oh man.
All right. Copran says, ha ha ha, MAGA.
This cop pulled in the parking lot here with me. He's probably thinking I'm crazy. I'm driving in circles trying to get better reception.
Oh man, you're about to get pulled over for being drunk.
I didn't know he was sitting there. I don't know how long he's been sitting there, but he just pretty much parked there staring at me, probably wondering what I'm doing in the church parking lot.
Like, what is this dude on? He's thinking, I'm about to bust his ass.
He's sitting over there talking to himself in his truck.
It's going to take him 2 hours to shake down your truck with all the fishing gear you got in it.
Oh boy. Shake away.
Tom says those cities are full of Californians already. Yeah, a lot of Cali people have moved here to Texas. They're like, man, they hate Texas, but they keep moving here. Like, well, I don't get it. If y'all hate Texas so much, why y'all keep moving here?
Well, you got to figure, if you look at the geographical map of California, 80% of that state is red.
Yeah. Texas is the whole state except for 3 little specks, just the major cities. Let's not get started on immigration. Well, Dodie, Chris is from California. I'm from Texas. We got more immigration than anywhere. And, I got 26 guys working for me that are not from the United States, but they're all here legally. That's the difference. Legal and illegal. There's a right way and a wrong way. So we'll leave it at that. Do it the right way. Wesley Grubb says, hell, he fished for catfish in Texas with ivory soap. Yep, them channel cats will eat anything, man. Zote soap was used for a long time by trotliners.
Yep. A lot of them guys used to do it for bush hooks a lot around here.
Wesley says they moved to Tennessee also. Junkie says biggest channel come off of coho salmon in Lincoln Park Zoo, Lagoon, Chicago, Illinois.
For some reason, Chris, my chat keeps freezing up over here.
I got chat. I'm rolling through here trying to get caught up. Danny Weldon says just them damn electoral votes. We don't get into politics, but sometimes it's funny. So we do like to have a good time. Tubb says, show us your truck setup with all that gear, freezer, bait tank, Chris. He's got 3 freaking biceps. Tubb, he's like superhuman. Got 3 biceps.
Chris, we lost your picture and sound too, brother. I think he's having trouble with that service right there.
You don't have sound, Wheeler. I'm gonna boot you. Come on back. Redeploy. He's out of here. You're booted.
I think with all these thunderstorms and all this stuff around our area, Chris, I'm surprised we're not having this bad service tonight as what we're having.
Well, I think we got more rain on the way. I don't even know. I haven't even been watching it's hard to even pay attention because every time I look, it's more rain. I'm like, damn it.
Man,
I just want it to stop raining so I can go fish the river.
that's it.
Junkie says 22 pounds and he'll never break that PB. Never say never. PBs can always be broken. Paula Smith says, you are so right, Chris. I bet she's not talking about me. She's probably talking about Wheeler. Dan Weldon says salmon is expensive here.
Yeah, it is.
Man, all fish has gotten to be expensive, but it's good.
Tom said more.
Word says nothing.
Tom said more coming tonight till noon tomorrow.
Oh, man. Needed to quit.
That's it.
Can you hear me now?
I got you now, man.
All right.
Michael Cox says chance of rain all weekend. Well, that sucks. I am sick of it. Texas it's ridiculous how much rain we've been getting. David Cochran says send some rain to Iowa. You can have it, man.
Wesley says, hell, I'm sitting at 40, but the others that get on my boat put them on 60s.
That's all right. You can call them your boat PB. If you're the captain, it's the boat PB. All my people's PBs are, I feel like those are my PBs too, because I'm like, man, another PB. Those are special. I know it's memorable for them, but hell, it's just as memorable for me when somebody catches a PB on the boat. I just think it's cool to be a part of it.
That's it.
When I was fishing with my two guide buddies last trip, I was like, man, you want to catch one? You need to get a big one. And I'm like, man, I'm just glad to be here. As long as I can help bring them in, let me rope the thing, let me drag it over the gunnel. Then I feel like I did something, so I can be part of it.
Looks like we got Wheeler back.
Wesley says, good old Gulf of America.
Oh man.
Michael says he's done with it. He's ready to be on the water. I am too. I'm going fishing with my boy Trent Hall Saturday evening. We're going to go flathead fishing. So we're going to freaking hammer them. I got a feeling the creek's flowing. Long as we don't have a thunderstorm hitting Sunday or Saturday evening. Chris is making a move. We'll probably lose him again.
Yeah.
No, I think I got better service now.
All right. What Tom was asking, what
this
size
officer thinks I'm crazy. I know it.
Tom was asking, what size carp you want for big gar, Chris?
Well, Tommy, I've been switching it up. Before this year, I went supersized. But this year, I went with more of what one of my guide buddies, who's one of the best in the world at doing it, Chris Moody. He uses smaller pieces, so I've been using both. And I will say we've caught all of our fish on. They're not small pieces, but a piece about a hand-sized piece. And we use bigger. I had a huge run on a cannonball-sized carp head. I mean, it was massive. It was probably a 11-pound carp, and it was the head, so it was a 2-pound head. And I had a giant run, a hard runner that almost spooled me. 4 to 6 pound carp be perfect. Yeah. 4 to 6 pound carp be perfect. And we chop those up into, hand size or a little bit smaller pieces. You got to figure a big gar's mouth's about that wide. You want that thing to fit in the width of his mouth. Now, the lengthwise, it can be giant, but you want it to fit. This a gar that's like 5 foot's got a mouth about that wide. 6-footers about like that. 7-footers like the size of a full-grown alligator. So it's similar. I would say similar size to when you're blue cat fishing. A piece about like a hand size. That's pretty much what we were catching them all on. I use a double hook rig. Zach Withers says he'll be at Texoma this weekend. Well, my boys up at Texoma say it's still pretty tough. I got a bunch of guide buddies up there. So they're still bitching and moaning. Tubb says supersized bait, Chris, is my blue PB. For blues, I throw giant baits. I think that's no secret. Only time I'll downsize is usually like pre-spawn. Or like summertime, I'll go smaller too. Yeah, Tom, start doing some carp fishing. As soon as this river goes down, we'll go hit them up, man. Right now, that thing is raging. You can't, it's not safe. Check my messages here.
Chris, that lake that you're catching all those channel cats off, man. How long did you say you've been fishing that lake?
Pretty heavy for about 5-6 years.
Nice. And you basically just the structure that you're fishing, is it just pretty much a sandy bottom, or is there a lot of good structure on the bottom of it besides the rocks and stuff?
There's rock bottom and there's sand bottom. It's all rock underneath, I think, for the most part, with silt on top of it. But it's got its different areas. I prefer to fish the rocks. I prefer to fish hard structure.
And they hold pretty tight on that.
They do. I mean, there's on some of those crevices, there's resident fish, I believe, that don't ever really stray far from it. I think they kind of stay almost all year on those pieces. Maybe stray off a little bit, to feed and come back, but they're not moving far off those ledges.
Man.
And I can jump from one side of the ledge where it's shallow to the deeper side as the season change. One side of the lake is where that crevice is really shallow. I fish that, 12 to 20 foot more in the summer, and then I'll switch over to that 30, 35, 50, 55 foot range in the winter. And around that, I mean, those are, I kind of, that's my go-to. I focus my energy there. If they're not there, I've got other spots that I go and, fish, but they hold fish, I mean, you can always go there and catch fish.
Is that the reason?
All them rocks, don't they?
I think that is kind of the key to that lake. I think it gives those fry somewhere to get up in.
Yeah,
those crevices.
That's where they like
holes.
To spawn. I mean, they spawn on those rocks hard. They're in there thick. So, what's those water temps, Chris?
Right now, and I gotta admit this. The last few months, man, I've been fishing Arizona a lot.
Oh, okay.
So I would say probably the water temperature there right now is probably 80, 85.
Yeah. That's pretty
much. It may be a little warmer, but this time of year, that would probably be the standard. This year, I've worked out of town a lot, and we just bought a new boat, so I made another. Right. We got a Bolton riverboat.
Oh, cool.
Jet. It's a jet.
I wish I had one of those, man.
21 foot. So much newfound space and real estate, man. Woo.
What's the length?
21 foot.
Nice.
It's got a pilot house type deal, or it's no enclosure?
It's got full enclosure.
Oh, dude.
It's removable, but we do have full enclosure.
That's awesome.
And Chris, all the controls are all the way forward on that boat. It's all, it's all back deck.
Yeah, those are cool. That's my next boat. I don't know when that'll be, but that'll be the War Machine 2.0. When I get it,
this is the bird's nest 2.0.
Yeah. I'm going to get a 24, so it's going to be like getting a new house. They're crazy expensive.
Well, our old boat was 17 and a half, so that all that extra space, and we had a a fisher, and they put the controls almost in the middle of those boats. So you've got a lot of front end space, some storage up there. But we didn't really use it other than put the coolers, you know. But with the new boat, the controls are all the way forward on that
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah, it
which
gives
just
you a lot of
opens
room.
the whole back of that boat up.
Yeah. And you got a jet prop?
No, it's an inboard jet.
Okay. Oh, okay. Nice.
It's meant for shallow northern, Pacific Northwest rivers,
Yeah.
rocks. You can skim through 6 inches of water and then pop out in some deeper stuff. It's a bad little boat, man. We're very excited about it.
Nice, man. Congratulations on that, brother.
That's awesome, man.
Got a question for y'all guys. What kind of anchor would you suggest for a sandy bottom?
Lake or river? For a lake, well, get a hold of my boy Tub. He's been making them. He makes a river style anchor, but it'll work in a lake too. It's like a never lost type. I don't use those, but I'd like to get a set. I try not to anchor.
I tell you, Tubbs has got some very good anchors.
I run.
We don't even have an anchor in our boat.
I got box anchors.
I tell you, I'm getting too old, man. They're getting too heavy.
If I'm an anchor, I'm probably going to be looking for a tree to tie to. If I can't find a tree,
that's exactly what we do.
Nose up on shore and fan cast out the back.
Yeah.
That's exactly how we roll.
I will pass up fish to find some fish in one of those scenarios. I don't like dropping those damn anchors.
Yeah, I love taking my boys because their backs are a lot younger than mine, and I tell them that that's a good workout for them.
Wesley, they ought to do you good, man. Those are good slides.
Yep.
We never drop anchors on our boat. We're tied. We're either tied up or beached, just like that, Chris.
Yeah, we do a lot of that on the river here, man. And I tell you, after about 5 times of pulling that heavy caught picking thing up during the night, man, it's like, okay, you just want to throw it out and leave it and just crawl up and go to sleep.
I found myself going to lakes where I can drag if I know they're going to be shallow. I've been going to lakes that I can either drag shallow, we're up by an inlet that has no timber, or I'm going to go where there's trees that I can tie up to. That's just, I've gotten lazy in my old age. Brad Spark says, "What's up, brother? Spot lock is his anchor." I did more spot locking this spring than I normally do. There's one when I'm sitting in one spot, I like to have my lines fairly tight.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts having to, because I just can't help but crank, give it a couple cranks to tighten my stuff up. And if it's windy, that thing's constantly tightening. I just got to do it, man. Something in me. Lee Lloyd says he's got 2 60-pound dumbbells for when it's really windy. I got 35-pound Texas box anchors, and they will hold a battleship, which is basically what my boat is, especially in the wind. Thing's a beast. If there's rollers, you ain't anchoring my boat. I mean, you can anchor it, but it's going to drag whatever anchor you got. I mean, It would drag a 60-pound dumbbell because front end of the boat would be on rollers. It's doing this. It pulls that damn thing off, even with 100, 50 feet of line out.
Hmm.
My boat's not made for anchoring in big wind. It's freaking sucks, man. It's the worst.
I can't remember the last time I anchored my boat, to be honest.
I didn't anchor. Well, yeah, I didn't drop the anchors one time this last year. And I would say every year, the last 12 years, it's less and less every year. And this year, it was 0. And I'm happy about it. I used to anchor in the winter out 50 foot in the timber. And I won't do it. I'm just like, nope. There's fish here. I'll go find some different fish.
The only time that I even tie up is during the spawn. The rest of the time I'm dragging.
Yeah.
And in the spawn, they're in 3 to 12 foot of water, so I'll find a tree or shove my boat up onto a shore somewhere. I'll tie off in tules, whatever I can do just to keep the boat still.
I do the same thing. If I'm real if I do have some mud anchors, it's like a fiberglass pole. If I'm in like 8 foot of water, I can stick that thing down and it'll keep me from swaying. Way better than dropping anchor. My God. I'll tie the front end up to a tree, stick the mud anchor out the back or the mud pin just to hold me from the wind. I like to do that. Much better. Joseph Brewer says, "What's up, big catfish killers?"
What's up, buddy?
Jimmy Floyd says, "Has the river come down any yet?" No, Jimmy, the river is up. It's up higher than when you were. So Jimmy come down to fish with me and Wheeler. I mean, me and Moody, and it rained the day before he came. The river come up. We couldn't fish.
Wow.
And we had a trip booked, or he had a trip booked for Tuesday.
Looks like we lost. Yep.
He had a trip booked with Moody for Tuesday, and I was going to go with them, and couldn't fish. Damn river's up too high.
Man.
Bugs says he uses on a sandy bottom. He runs a conventional 13-pound fluke anchor with a box anchor out the back if on a lake catfishing. It's got a 23-foot boat. I got a 24-foot boat. Man, my shit in big rollers, that front end, it just pulls it just enough. Even when when I got a long line, it just enough to pull me off anchor, man. It can hold for 20 minutes, but then all of a sudden it's pulled. Yeah, but one thing is, a lot of our lakes, they got this muck on the bottom. It's just nasty muck. It's not really sand. So a lot of our sandy lakes now have muck, and it's not good for anchoring in big wind.
Looks like Chris is still having trouble with his
My phone.
I use two, man. They're really. They come with a little mounting bracket. Now you could probably you could make the mounting bracket yourself, but I think mine are Panther poles, if I can remember correctly. They come in 3 different sizes, 8, 10, or 12 foot. I think mine are 10 footers. It's like a 2-piece pole. The 12s are 3-piece poles, but I use the 10s. They're very handy. They would hold your boat really good. Keeps that ass in from doing, when the wind's blowing from, one end's real tight and then the wind shifts and this side's tight and this one's pulled free, and then you got to pull. It's brutal. I got to have tight lines, not super tight, but a little bow's fine. I don't like a ton of slack between my bait and my pole. Yeah, Tom, 22, you would think, I got the 22, but then it's got a chain, and that chain's like 8 pounds. You would think it would hold it, but you're right. 15-mile-an-hour wind. It's it'll pull you off anchor. Bugs is up there at Tacoma, and it's a sandy bottom. I guess we lost Jamie. Jamie's back.
There we go.
6 foot 5/16 chain also. Yeah. Yeah, you're not supposed to need a chain with a box anchor, but I don't even know which chain I got. It's a heavy ass chain.
You're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing over here. I'm having a meeting here. I'm live in a podcast, but I'm getting horrible service here. So I keep trying to move around. It ain't working out so well. So I was just letting you know what was going on. Sorry, guys.
This is live TV, brother.
Yeah, we're live. What can I say?
Oh, man. It kind of reminds me of that night, Chris, when the game warden stuck up on me in that tactical night vision they were using that night when they come to the front of the boat.
Yeah, that's high tech, man.
Back to correction.
Man.
All right. Thank you.
Wheeler says, I'm just letting them know I'm not crazy over here. I'm just.
God's like, what is this dude doing in the parking lot?
Oh, look like we lost him again.
Well, I've been ping-ponging all around this church parking lot, and she's sitting here also, so.
Oh, man.
Well, y'all got fishing plans? Jamie, you got fishing plans?
We had a tournament for this weekend, but it was canceled because of the water situation. They moved it for 2 weeks from to now. So, but I'm still going to try to maybe go out Saturday night and do a little bit of fishing. If not, I will 100% be out next weekend.
All right.
So, I'm ready to go fishing, brother. I know we've been super busy. A lot of stuff going on. I know Tom, I gave him a little hint earlier today that me and you were going to have a little surprise tonight. And if they didn't figure it out, they probably figured it out. The new shirts that we're wearing.
Yeah, let's show them off. Joseph Brewer says his 20-foot Sea Arc moves 3 feet side to side if he doesn't have the back fiberglass poles. Works great for shallow water. Yep. There you go, Tub. There you have it. That Sea Arc, it'll hold you good in shallow water. So a 10-foot pole will hold you in about 7-8 foot of water. And you can get the 12s. I had the 12s. I ended up breaking one because I took off with the damn thing.
Yeah, I had those for my pontoon boat, man, and I tell you, I would forget them. It just got to a point where I just kind of done away with it.
When you're in shallow water, the damn things are sticking up high. But sometimes I'm in like I said, it's 8.5 foot of water, and that pole's down there where you forget it's even in there. It's like I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna move real quick, freaking hammer down, and you look back, you're like, damn, I've been dragging that thing for 100 yards. It ain't like it can take just driving off, but doing it at 100 yards of shallow water, it won't be the same when you're. It's hard to pull that thing back out of the little collar after that. Dan Weldon says a 15-foot mag cat should work. They don't break.
Chris, I think that's the clearest picture we've had right there, brother.
Yeah.
Is it? Well,
Yeah.
I'm sitting in front of a tower, so the officer told me which way to go.
There you go, bro.
Wesley said, got to ask that Popo for the best reception.
But the funny thing is I just parked in front of a school now, and I looked up on the hill behind me, and there's another officer parked up there. So they're probably wondering, what is this guy from California doing?
I tell you what, with all them cops around, man, you got to feel safe around there.
I'm in a little bitty town in New Mexico, right outside of the Navajo Nation reservation.
Man, I wouldn't speak through it. That's for daggone sure.
Yeah. But you guys are getting me clear now?
Yeah, we got you clear. That's the clearest we've got you.
Well, sorry about that.
No, sir. That's the way it goes, brother.
Well,
I tried to hook to the Wi-Fi at the RV park, and it was not going to work. And so at last minute, I had to burn out of there and find a spot to park. So
well, where are you fishing next?
me,
Yep.
I'm going to hit that Navajo Lake here in on the Navajo Nation.
They got channel cats in here?
They do.
All right. Jamie's he's going to try to fish, but he's rained out. So maybe next weekend.
Yeah, we're pretty rained out. So maybe next weekend we're going to get out there and try to catch some flatheads, man.
That's where we're going. Me and Jackson going Saturday night with Trent Hall, one of my guide buddies. So hopefully we can get on them good. We got flow. We got current. We've had rain. It's post-spawn. Should be good.
The flathead have been good to me this year. That's for sure.
I tell you, man, we've missed them. Like I said, we've been so busy, man. It's been hard to get out there. We just dying to get back out there and catch some. That's for sure.
Yeah, I got a lot of buddies like, man, you want to go catch these smaller fish? I'm like, man, I just can't bring myself to do it.
Spoiled.
Appreciate the offer, but man, I'm just going to be wishing I was hooked into something massive. So,
Chris just got a message, Chris, wondering if we could show the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
We were talking about the new slime show shirt, and I think I lost there. Oh,
here's the front. Here's the sleeves. Go big or go home. Carolina Lake weights. Come drift with us. There it is. Come drift with us in the back.
welcome to the slime show, next level catfishing.
Appreciate you making this for me, Rebecca. I don't know if you're watching, but maybe Jamie sometime will let you out of your cave.
Yeah, Mama's inside the house, man, making decals and hats right now for some more orders. So far, I think she's done close to 300 hats this week already, and well over 1,000 decals this week.
Did a great job. It's all UV reactive. It's looking good, man.
Yeah, it really pops, man. That's for sure.
Looking real good.
But we're going to probably be releasing these shortly. What we're probably going to do is probably do a pre-order on these shirts. So we'll get with everybody when we start doing that also.
Flathead Dodie says, I'll catch enough for all of us.
I know he will, man. He's been on top of it.
It's his time of year. He's putting the hammer on them. Tom says he should have waited to put that order in earlier. Wesley says he's got to get some of those reactive shirts.
Well,
Jamie, y'all going to offer this one to our people?
That one there, we're going to be offering is taking pre-orders on those here very soon.
Okay.
I'll release it when we start. Probably sometime this week we'll start taking pre-orders for these shirts.
Good deal.
That's the other new one that's active right there with that UV light.
I saw Tommy was wearing one today. He made a post. Got a new. Is that half and half white?
Yeah, that's the that's this one right here.
Good looking shirt.
Yeah. That's the
yeah. Man, y'all stepping it up. It's looking good, man.
She's already working on some new ones. So we got some more that she's already working on, some more new design stuff. So we're going to be throwing it out.
Help him with the design and a good logo for t-shirt and a hat. So Dodie, they're now the logo and all that, I don't know, but they're about y'all are getting that on the website soon, right, Jamie?
Oh, which one?
You can design t-shirts and hats. I mean, not t-shirts.
We're working on something with a partner that we might be offering here very soon. So y'all guys definitely stick around where we'll be able to offer something like that.
Dodie, if you need me to help you with design a logo, I'm pretty good at it. I design a lot of logos for friends, and teammates, whatnot. I wouldn't mind helping you. I'm an artist, not only an angler. I'm also an artist, businessman extraordinaire. Send me your ideas, and I can probably put it into.
I saw him put one out on Facebook this week. I think would be a very good one for him.
I didn't see that one. Which one was that? The chicks? One with the chicks?
Yeah. I said, yep, that fits him well right there.
I've seen that one as well.
Oh man. But yeah, he comes up with some good ones.
Well, anything else y'all want to promote before we get out of here?
I just want to say again, man, appreciate everybody. We've been super busy here at Carolina Lake Weights, and y'all guys are making it happen, man. We appreciate y'all. And like we said earlier, man, we just restocked everything back up on the drifting weights, and as soon as we do, man, y'all guys are taking them right back off, and we appreciate you.
Hey, man, appreciate everything y'all do for us anglers. I enjoy being a part of it. I'm not a big advertiser, but I like to fish.
Hey, just like you, we've talked, and I know Chris over here, Wheeler's over here the same way. Y'all guys doing it through your fishing, man. That's the way to do it.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing it my way. I know it pisses a lot of these guys off that like to share out 1,000 advertisements, but I'm just going to keep doing it the way I do it because it's fun, and I'm not going to do it unless it's fun. So I enjoy helping my friends. You're my friend. I'm going to keep helping you. Wheeler's my buddy. If he needs anything, I'm going to help him. Any of you guys that are on here have become my friends. Y'all know y'all can contact me anytime. I will answer the phone. If I don't answer the phone, I'll get back to you real quick. I'm just that type of dude. If you need me, holler at me. I will help you if I can. If I can't help you, I'll find somebody that can. So I appreciate all y'all being a part of this. We're going to keep doing what we're doing because it's fun. And fishing's supposed to be fun. So I mean, that's the number one reason why we're doing all this. I tell guys, they're like, why do you do all this crap? I'm like, well, for one, it's fun. For two, it's the memories we all get to make. It's the memories. That's the real currency that I earn. I'm not in this for money. I'm not trying to make money off of any of y'all. Jamie's, trying to make a living, but this is his passion. It's not just about making money. Obviously, or else he wouldn't have a guy like me helping run his.
I tell everybody, Chris, if we were in it for the money, I'm in the wrong business, because myself and Rebecca, man, we love doing what we do because of helping everybody that we can help. And I'm like you, man. We get calls even up to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning with questions. And guys, we don't mind at all. We love it, and we love doing what we do.
Chris, you got anything you want to promote real quick? Got coming up, or what? Anything going on? Got any
No.
vet trips going on, or?
No, I've been kind of MIA from California. My wife's probably at wit's end. She on the mountain alone, but I'm gonna be back pretty full time. But no, man, I just want to thank you for having me on the show. I'm honored that you asked me to be on it.
You're welcome back anytime. You're my brother. We've been friends for a couple of years. Hopefully we can get a chance to, I know we missed our opportunity last winter to fish, but I'm sure our paths are going to cross again. So
yeah,
we'll make it happen. Hopefully you can come back through sometime. We can go get them.
Yeah, we definitely plan on it.
January, February is a good time for me down here. So
that's when I was there last time, January, February.
Yeah, we had a big front that rolled in, and I thought, man, it ain't going to be good. It ain't going to be good. It ended up being good.
Yeah. I think you guys put a 70 in the boat that week.
Yeah.
That weekend, yeah.
Man.
But honestly, I think that worked out, Chris, the way it was supposed to. My wife's dad was down from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And her stepmom, and we don't get to see him very often. Every handful of years we get to see him, and we got to spend a good 4 or 5 days with him, and that would have been right at the end of that trip. And unfortunately, last week my wife's mother-in-law passed away, and it was kind of a big deal to get to hang with them. They come and stayed at our Airbnb right there on Tawakoni. We stayed.
Okay.
We had a house right on Tawakoni, and they came down and stayed. And so I think, as much as we would have loved to have been in the boat with you and got to hang with a friend, I think God played that plan to work the way it was supposed to, and I think it was time really well spent. And because to me, man, family's the most important thing in life.
Definitely.
Life is short. Spend as much time with them as you can. Enjoy every moment with your kids you can, because they grow up and those times aren't there. What you and your son got going on, man, that's just the greatest thing ever, man.
I appreciate it. We're trying to make them memories, because in the end, in my mind, that's what's really important.
Most important.
Good.
Wesley Grubb says, but January is CatCon. Yeah, they changed the date on us this year.
Yeah, I think this will be, as far as from what I understand, Chris, this might be the one and only year that's going to happen, because of something, the scheduling and all happened. So from what I understand,
I mean, I probably not. I don't know that I can miss it at this point. I mean, it's become a yearly deal for me.
Yeah.
So I get to go see a lot of people that it's just it's a unique experience to be able to go see all of these people that you mingle with in the catfish world, to get to go see them face to face, shake hands, hang out, tell fish tales, all that. It's just a cool experience. So I'm going to try to make it happen until I can't. So we'll be there. We'll be there.
I know we can't wait to get back there, man, for sure.
Viola and I are going to try to make it out this year.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Well,
That'd be good.
I'll if we can get it planned early enough, I'll get a big Airbnb, and we'll get a big one because I got enough buddies that go, so it's we can get a cool place.
That'd be
We've
great.
gotten Airbnb last 3 years, and some are better than others. But if we can get it early, you can get a really badass one. So, and the more people, it's like we can get something that's grid style. All right. Tom says he'll be up north fishing in January, and Wesley says, heck yeah. All right, boys and girls, tight lines. God bless. Azul out.
Later, y'all.